Imagine this. The person you cherish most suddenly realizes your true worth. What changed? You dared to step back, overcome the fear of losing them, and created the space for clarity and reflection. In this video, we'll uncover why facing that fear is the most empowering choice you can make. The way we perceive relationships, particularly those we hold dear, is deeply influenced by our fears and insecurities. One of the most common fears in relationships is the fear of losing someone special. This fear often dictates our actions, emotions, and decisions, shaping the dynamics of the relationship in profound ways. Understanding the mechanisms behind this fear, its impact on our behaviors, and the importance of addressing it can lead to healthier, more fulfilling connections. At the heart of the fear of losing someone is the innate human desire for connection. Humans are social beings. We thrive on bonds that provide us with emotional security and a sense of belonging. However, when this natural longing is coupled with an overwhelming fear of loss, it can manifest in behaviors that undermine the very relationship we aim to preserve. Clinging to someone, overanalyzing their words and actions, or constantly seeking reassurance are all manifestations of this fear. These behaviors, while often driven by good intentions, can come across as suffocating or desperate, pushing the other person away instead of drawing them closer. This dynamic is rooted in the psychological concept of attachment theory. People with insecure attachment styles, for instance, are more likely to fear abandonment. This fear leads them to overcompensate by overcommunicating, overanalyzing, or even tolerating disrespectful behaviors in an effort to keep the relationship intact. Ironically, this overcompensation often has the opposite effect, leading to strained relationships and unmet expectations. To counteract this, it is essential to recognize the value of balance and boundaries. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual respect and understanding. When one person constantly overextends themselves out of fear, it creates an imbalance that the other person may subconsciously exploit. Balance is maintained not by overgiving, but by ensuring that both parties contribute to and benefit from the relationship equally. Establishing boundaries is not about pushing the other person away. It's about protecting your own emotional well-being and fostering an environment of mutual respect. The concept of scarcity plays a significant role in this discussion. Humans tend to value what they perceive as rare or hard to obtain. In relationships, when someone's attention, time, or affection is readily available without effort, it can be easily taken for granted. This doesn't mean you should withhold affection as a form of manipulation, but rather, it underscores the importance of maintaining a sense of individuality within the relationship. When both individuals have their own lives, interests, and personal growth journeys, their time together becomes more meaningful. Stepping back and creating space is one of the most powerful ways to address the fear of loss. This step is not about punishing the other person or testing their loyalty. Instead, it's about breaking the cycle of overdependence and creating room for reflection, both for you and the other person. Stepping back can feel counterintuitive, especially when your instincts tell you to hold on tighter. However, it is often in this space that clarity emerges. The other person has the opportunity to reflect on your value while you gain perspective on whether the relationship is truly serving your needs. It's important to emphasize that stepping back doesn't mean severing ties abruptly or playing games. It's about prioritizing your emotional well-being and respecting the natural flow of relationships. Space allows for growth and introspection. If the other person values the connection, they will recognize its significance and take steps to nurture it. If they don't, it's a clear indication that the relationship may not align with your needs and values. A common misconception is that communication alone can solve every problem in a relationship. While open and honest communication is vital, it is not always enough, especially if the other person is not receptive. Effective communication requires both a willing speaker and a willing listener. If one party is not ready or willing to listen, no amount of carefully chosen words will make a difference. In such cases, actions often speak louder than words. Your decision to step back and focus on yourself can be a more powerful message than any conversation. This brings us to the concept of self-worth. The fear of losing someone often stems from a lack of confidence in our own value. When we base our self-worth on how someone else perceives us, we give them the power to define our happiness. This is a precarious position to be in because it makes us overly dependent on external validation. Building self-worth involves recognizing that your value is inherent and not dependent on anyone else's approval or attention. When you approach relationships from a place of confidence and self-respect, you are more likely to attract partners who value and respect you. The process of building self-worth begins with self-awareness. Take a step back and evaluate your patterns in relationships. Are you consistently overextending yourself to please others? Do you tolerate behaviors that don't align with your values out of fear of conflict or rejection? Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward breaking them. From there, focus on nurturing yourself, whether it's through pursuing hobbies, investing in personal growth, or spending time with supportive friends and family. When you prioritize your own happiness and well-being, you become less reliant on others to fill those gaps. Another important aspect to consider is the role of time in relationships. Time has a way of revealing true intentions and feelings. When you give yourself and the other person time to reflect, it often leads to a deeper understanding of the relationship's dynamics. This period of reflection can clarify whether the connection is based on genuine compatibility or on temporary emotional needs. Patience is key here. Rushing to resolve conflicts or seeking immediate validation can cloud judgment and lead to impulsive decisions. While it's natural to want closure or certainty in relationships, it's important to recognize that not all questions have immediate answers. Sometimes, the best course of action is to let go of the need for control and trust the process. This doesn't mean being passive or indifferent. It means focusing on what you can control, your own actions, thoughts, and emotions, rather than trying to manage someone else's feelings or decisions. The fear of losing someone also provides an opportunity for growth and transformation. Facing this fear head-on requires courage and resilience, but the rewards are profound. It teaches you to prioritize your own happiness, set healthy boundaries, and cultivate self-respect. It also allows you to approach relationships from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. When you recognize that you are complete and worthy on your own, you are less likely to settle for less than you deserve. This shift in perspective often changes the dynamics of the relationship. When you stop chasing or clinging, the other person is forced to reassess their own feelings and actions. They may come to appreciate what they had and take steps to rebuild the connection. Alternatively, they may choose to move on, which, while painful, creates space for healthier and more fulfilling relationships to enter your life. Either outcome is a step toward growth and alignment with your true needs. In this journey, it's essential to remember that not all relationships are meant to last forever. Some connections serve as lessons, teaching us about ourselves and what we need in a partner. Others are stepping stones, preparing us for the relationships that align with our values and aspirations. Viewing relationships through this lens can help alleviate the fear of loss. Instead of seeing the end of a relationship as a failure, recognize it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Additionally, the fear of losing someone is often exacerbated by societal pressures and cultural narratives. We are frequently bombarded with messages that equate relationship success with personal worth. This creates a sense of urgency to make things work at all costs, even when it's not in our best interest. Challenging these narratives involves redefining what success in a relationship looks like. It's not about longevity or appearances, it's about mutual respect, growth, and fulfillment. Finally, embracing uncertainty is a vital part of this process. Life is inherently unpredictable, and relationships are no exception. Learning to navigate uncertainty with grace and resilience is a skill that will serve you well not only in relationships, but in all aspects of life. When you let go of the need for certainty, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and open the door to possibilities you may not have considered. In conclusion, the fear of losing someone special is a powerful emotion that can either hinder or propel us toward growth. By understanding the roots of this fear, recognizing its impact on our behaviors, and taking steps to address it, we can create healthier, more balanced relationships. Stepping back, cultivating self-worth, and embracing uncertainty are all crucial components of this journey. Remember, your value is not defined by someone else's perception of you. You are worthy of love, respect, and happiness, first and foremost from yourself. When you embrace this truth, you not only transform your relationships, but also your entire perspective on life.